Hey guys, this is your OT Cesar and welcome to our third live video. It's our dinner discussion tonight on a Tuesday because we won't be able to be together on Holy Thursday this week. And of course, this is still me, your OT Cesar, your occupational therapist, online playmate, and your chief growth officer. And you are here with me today. We are joined by Kala. She's the cat here. We have one viewer now. And we have Kala here. She is my brother's cat. And she has so many names: Kala, Kalia Leia, Kalia Lily, Kala Chuchi. And of course, as usual, you will be with me today to talk about all things occupational therapy. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to talk about anything that you could ask me, anything that could help you out in your growth journey with your child. And that's it. So I hope you stick with me tonight. We're gonna spend hopefully uh, for a longer time mas magsama pa tayo because last time the video ended. So if that happens again, I actually don't know what to do or how to fix that problem na nawala siya on Facebook. So if that problem happens again, please join us. Go back to the page and just rejoin the live because I'm gonna give all my time to you tonight. I am all yours. And welcome to our live three. Yes. Okay. Again, this is your OT Cesar, and we have Kala tonight. So if you have any questions, you can type it down there in the comments if you're on Facebook, on YouTube, and tell me where you are watching this live video right now. Okay. And for tonight, we will be still having our 3, 2, 1 grow format. So you know that already: three questions, two toys, and one lesson for tonight. And also, if you can see in the description for our live video, I will also tell you about the Smart Kid program where I can teach you and on how to build the learning foundations with your child, where you will teach your child how to learn how to learn. Ano daw? Yes, to learn how to learn. So essentially, we're gonna teach your kids to have fun learning, to get into the process of learning, hindi lang on the academic stuff, but more on the social, more on the, kasama syempre yung academic stuff, but everything about their developmental domains. Okay, so academic is just one part of their development. So which is why we're gonna look at all the aspects that affect your child's development para they will be yung first natin, they will be a smart kid. Okay, so in the seminar we're gonna present later, you will become a smart parent so you can teach your kid on how to be a smart kid. Okay, so let's go straight away to our first question for tonight. And this question has been asked like 2 or 3 times already. Ayan, so 3 questions tayo. The first one, intro pa pala tayo. 3 questions, two toys, one lesson, and let's go. Sobrang excited to go to the 3 questions. Yes, because I'm gonna answer a lot of your questions tonight. And again, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to type it in the comments down below. Okay, sige. So we have our first question. Still loading. Ayan. Okay, so we're gonna have this as our first question because actually na-copy ko na to sa notes ko because they asked this last time dun sa registration for behavior management by Black Sheep. They asked this on Facebook. They also asked this on the feedback form for behavior management by Black Sheep. So that means they really want to get the answer to this one. And the reason why this was not covered is because this is more on the educational aspect. So I can't recall already who asked this, but most likely it comes from a teacher kasi ito yung question nila. Okay, why some therapists recommend children with behavioral problem, palaki natin. Okay, why do some therapists recommend children with behavioral problems to enter SPED tutorials even if the child is not yet ready due to behavioral problems? So I have 3 kids with behavioral problems, like they cannot sit and focus for 5 minutes, but the OT said that the kids are ready. When you read their assessment, it says they are not yet ready for SPED or tutorial. So why? Okay, so this is, again, most likely coming from a SPED teacher or in a program where they handle the academic part of yung development ng kids. So this yung possible reason for this one is the OT could already see na yung child kahit na medyo tumagal na ilang months na yung treatment nila, hindi pa rin ganun na nag-improve talaga yung attention ni kid. Because when we receive a referral from a speech therapist, a teacher, a PT or a doctor, na yung goal niya is to really work on improving yung behavioral problem ng child. Essentially, yun, yung focus, yung sitting. So, more on the concentration ng kid to prepare them for learning. Okay? Possible na nag-work on na sila, let's say, 3 to 6 months, pero ganun pa rin yung na-achieve ng kid na attention span. Okay, so even if the OT could see na, oh, ginawa na namin yung sensory integration na mga interventions, possible na they already had environmental modifications. Tapos, for some cases, nag-medication na rin si kid, pero ganun pa rin yung attention na kinakaya ng kid. Okay? So, the reason why they refer this early is so that masimulan na rin yung academic aspect ng development ng kid, because kahit na 5 minutes lang yung attention ng kid, ang pwede mong magawa in the session is introduce din yung activities na hanggang 5 minutes lang. Okay, because si attention span, again, the more you use it, the longer it becomes then. So para siyang, in comparison to a physical muscle, para siyang mental muscle, okay, the more you use it, the longer it becomes. Pero this time, in a perspective of a teacher, okay, ang mangyayari, yung task, i-break down lang into 5-minute chunks. Okay, so it's a little hard, especially sa teacher na aspect kapag ka, if you're working in a bigger group, because nga, yun nga, mas maraming kids, and especially kapag 5 minutes, you're gonna expect tatayo na, alis na from the chair, they're gonna go around the room, okay, so it could be disruptive to other students as well. So it's really understandable why it could be difficult getting the kid this early. Pero the referral is so that the kid could already get some benefits from the tutorial na hindi niya makukuha if hindi nasimulan agad. Okay? So, in other words, mas maraming mawawala sa kid if hindi siya nasimulan at that level. Okay? So, yun yung possible reason bakit na-refer na ng ganun kaaga. Now, sa case na ganito, if it's coming from the OT and then tatlong kids na ganun, na-refer agad sa inyo, and it could be possible na a few months pa lang yung bata or kahit right away, okay, so pagkatanggap pa lang, they-refer agad sa inyo, it's best if you talk to the OT and also to the administration. Kasi if you are working, depende na rin kasi siya sa admin or sa program ng school. Okay, kasi of course, the OT and the teacher needs to work together more closely kapag connected yung center ninyo with the school, kapag malapit lang. So usually they come together. So pwede nyo i-recommend sa OT na hindi din siya ready, it needs more intensive programs pa doon sa behavior ng kid. You could also ask for adaptations na pwede nyo magamit kapag tingin niyo na parang hindi talaga effective na mag-tutorial yung kid because of the behavioral concerns. Okay, so pwede nyo naman i-refer back, or may cases din na gano'n, na sasabihin ng speech, sasabihin ng teacher na hindi pa talaga kaya ng kid to participate, pwedeng maging negative yung experience ng kid, hindi pa siya ready for the program, para the OT could also make adaptations. So the best solution here is for you to communicate with the OT, lapitan niya na agad, to voice out your concern, and of course, para magkaroon kayo ng joint na problem solving, you find the best solution that works for you both. Pwede mo rin i-explain sa kanya na yun nga, yung perspective mo na hindi talaga ma-maximize. And if negative yung experience ng kid in the learning situation, of course, there's going to be some problem then on your part. Like, mahirapan ka rin lalo. Okay? So, yun lang, communicate pa rin because it's a team naman. It's a rehab team naman. So, the OT is part of the team, the parent is part of the team, and of course, the teachers are very important parts of the team. So sa inyo, especially yung you spend more time, a lot more time than the therapist, and you see behaviors as well na hindi na-observe, okay, in just an hour. So best to communicate sa OT ninyo. Okay, and that is question number 1. So if you don't have any follow-up questions, we're gonna go straight away to question number 2. And ayan, natapos na natin in the first 10 minutes, which is Wala. Usually, I tend to really talk a lot, talk so fast kapag andito na tayo sa discussion part. Okay, ayan. So, hello, good evening sa lahat ng viewers natin. And good evening kay Kala na nakakatulog sa boses ko. But I hope sa kayo, hindi kayo inaantok while listening to me tonight. Okay, so good evening and hello sa lahat ng kumakain while listening and watching sa live video natin. Okay, so let's go straight away to question number 2 natin. Okay, so let's go to the second question. Hello sir, na ay one kid sa volunteer center na diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and grabe ka vistive seeking na ma-unsafe and resistive pa siya if mo try kang redirect. His current main OT's way of treating is child-led, but it's mostly because si kid di muminaw. Sige, so the situation here is that they're asking for another OT na very vestibular seeking si kid, very unsafe, resistive. So they're I think they're asking if effective ba yung child-led na approach kasi parang lumalabas kaya siya may hahaha is parang wala nang choice si OT, that's why yun na yung best na gagawin. Okay? Now, in this approach, i-describe ko muna, civistive seeking, we will learn about that sa Smart Kid natin. You can, when you join the Smart Kid program, we will cover yung sensory integration, the why. Okay, ito yung parts na nasa OT natin. You're gonna hear terms like yan, vestibular seeking, proprioception, tactile, yung mga auditory. Okay, so this is based, yung approach niya is more on the sensory integration, again, which we will cover sa Smart Kid. And ang sabi niya dito, vestibular seeking na ma-unsafe na. Because if you have a child who is seeking the sensory, okay, part of the presentation is that the child usually has a hard time then identifying safety risks. Kasi nga, ang goal lang nila is ma-meet yung sensory need. Okay? So, if meron silang problems with seeking, gusto lang nila na mag-run ng run, galaw ng galaw, hit ng hit. They're going to pwedeng mag-jump or climb up very high surfaces, pwedeng mag-climb sa furniture, sobrang taas, pwedeng paulit-ulit mag-bang, pwedeng i-bang ng head, mag-bang ng ibang tao, mag-bang ng objects in the room. So, since nagsisik sila ng sensation, okay, a lot of times, hindi nila naiisip ano yung possible consequences because nauuna yung need nila to regulate themselves. Kasi nga, they're seeking, okay, mataas yung need nila for that sensation. And when we talk about the vestibular system, that's related to movement, okay, and yung head movement in particular, pati yung positioning din, changes in position, especially in relation to gravity. So that means yung mga jumping kasama dyan kasi di ba may changes yan in position, may head movement din siya. Possible yung kid ninyo, yun, nagja-jump sa sofa, nagja-jump sa bed, mahilig magbaliktad, yung upside down na position, pwedeng nakahang sa bed, pwedeng mag-swing ng mag-swing, pwedeng ikot ng ikot, spin ng spin, pwedeng, ano pa ba, galaw ng galaw, kapag pinapaupo mo, nag-fidget, nag-move around, hindi yun yung mga usual descriptions, okay, kapag yung kid vestibular seeking. Now, there's a lot of ways it could present, pero yun yung usual na presentation, okay, kapag vestibular seeking yung kid. And of course, if you can imagine, yung dinescribe ko na ikot ng ikot, or jump ng jump, or hit ng hit, or climb ng climb, kasi nga head position and changes in in relation to gravity. So mas mataas yung sensation na nakukuha nila when they climb up really high surfaces. And of course, that includes na yung bata possible na mahulog, possible na matamaan yung ulo. Okay, yun yung isa sa things na very careful ako when it comes to the therapy session. Like kapag ma-disgrasya yung kid, that's really something na kailangan mo talaga pagandaan. That's why it's also important that you child-proof your house. Yung mga padding, lalo na kapag severe yung sensory problems, okay, yung mga edges ng table, edges ng furniture, yung mga dulo ng wall, yung sa door, na ilagyan na ng mga padding para safe yung bata the entire time, okay? Now, looking here, ang concern niya is tama ba yung child-led? Okay, yung child-led na approach, is it good for this kid? Kasi parang ang reason lang na child-led siya is because hindi daw nakikinig yung bata. Now, that is a really good first step because kapag yung kid may vestibular seeking, possible pa rin na you can get into the child's circle, yung parang play niya pa rin. So if yung main play niya is the vestibular activities, it's good na you start there and you also work on na rin the sensory aspect of the kid. So i-incorporate nyo as much as you can yung vestibular activities. You can even have a session na puro muna yun. Yung let's say for example, i-expand ninyo from the yung activity na very sensory. For example, if mahilig siya mag-jump, you can have jump and then work with a puzzle. Okay, so let's jump on the trampoline. Let's jump 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 20. And then, okay, 20, let's go down. Put one piece of the puzzle. Okay, so parang ganun siya. So we have here a toy. Mamaya makikita siya sa two toys. So kahit yung mga very simple toys lang na very easy to finish, so jump and then put here. Ma-expand nyo man lang kahit one step. Okay, so pwede nyo ma-incorporate yan. It's still child-led because you are following the child, yung play na gusto niya. But of course, you want to achieve your goal pa rin kahit very simple siya. Pero you are combining something na child-led and also mas structured na part. Okay? So ina-expand mo lang. So you're meeting the child's sensory need and then also still meeting your goal of having the child follow one-step instructions. Also, engage in structured play. Ibig sabihin yung ikaw na yung pumipili ng activities. So all that one, pwede mong ma-achieve. If there's any suggestion aside from child-led, I would still stick with child-led if I was working with this kid. Ang ano lang siguro is that kapag masyadong mataas yung sensory need ng kid, you have to adapt to it and i-adapt mo yung session on the kid. Okay? So hindi yung child yung nag-adapt dun sa session na gusto mo just because you want na yung session dapat ganito katagal yung upo niya, yung kasi merong iba na naka-format na parang meron ka nang na-imagine in your brain na dapat ganito yung session mag-run. Dapat nakaupo siya ng 10 minutes. Dapat 15 minutes yung work natin. Okay? So which is ideal. Pero of course, kapag bago pa yung child or iba yung severity, you have to adapt it. Lalo na kapag very young yung child, I've tried that one na mag-start muna kami with 3 minutes na goal lang talaga. Like 3 minutes, transition. 3 minutes, transition to another toy. Transition, ganyan. So kahit na it would look like sobrang bilis nung attention ng kids, sobrang gulo din actually kasi of course, ang dami mong toys na kailangan i-prepare. But that's where your skills come in kapag pagdating sa pag-control ng environment and also taking lead dun sa session ninyo ng kid. Okay? So, ikaw mag-adapt. So, syempre, you have to prepare. Nasa preparation yan. You have to have a basket of toys and then 3 minutes, present a new toy. Kapag nag-shift yung attention niya, alam mo naubusan na siya ng attention, pack away, kuha ng bagong toy. Okay? And then 3 minutes. So, even if yung kid very short ang attention span, you can do so many things. Okay? Ang dami mong magagawa in 1 hour of treatment with the kid kahit na ganun lang yung attention span niya. Okay? So yes, tama siya. Yung you might find it weird din, yung child-led approach, but ganito yung fear. Naglalag ata tayo. Hello. Ayan. Pa-comment naman dyan if naglalag ako ng lag na word. Ayan. Okay. Ganyan din yung fear ko before, personally, when I started using a child-led approach. Ang situation sa akin before is that yung OT, okay, nag-refer siya sa akin ng kid. And then, nung na-refer sa akin yung kid, hindi na-endorse. Like, walang endorsement paper, wala pang document. And then, yung kid, na marireceive ko na siya on the same day. Okay, kung kailan siya na-endorse sa akin. So, of course, kasi you have to know the child. You have to, again, the key is preparation. So, you have to get an idea man lang of the kid before you meet the child. That's why very important yung case history, yung interview, para ma-prepare na yung mind mo when you deal with the child. So, kapag ang nangyari dito, ganun yung situation, pagkatanggap ko ng kid, hindi ako ready, like, what do I do? I haven't met the kid, I don't know ano yung notes nila, ano yung last activity. Okay, kasi kapag kaka-endorse lang ng kid, ang ginagawa ko ay follow their last session. Kasi yun yung familiar for the kid. At least lang yung change is me as the therapist. So, again, para maka-adapt din siya to me as the therapist. So, yun kapag bago yung kid sa akin. Okay, kakapasa lang. Now, without the endorsement notes and without any other information, okay, so to give me an idea about how to deal with the kid, ang sabi lang ng secretary sa akin sa clinic is that very strict yung dating therapist niya sa bata na to. Okay, yun lang yung cue ko in that situation na this kid, kapag ka nag-work ka with this child, dapat firm ka, dapat like strict ka, ikaw na susunod, huwag kang magpadala, ganyan. Yun yung mga terms, yun yung mga tips na binigay sa akin ng secretary. So of course, I didn't have any idea, wala akong notes to back it up, walang endorsement report, okay? So wala akong idea how to deal with it. Now, of course, ako, kakapasok ko lang sa work that time. I mean, kakastart ko lang as an OT. So that happened in my first 6 months pa as an OT. And the reason why I remember it so clearly is it was because of this child kung bakit ako mas naging firm about using a child-led approach. Okay? So during that time na-receive ko na yung kid, okay, syempre yung tone ko that time, I wanted na magpakita gilas, okay, gusto mo ma-prove na ay first day ko with a kid, dapat makita ng parents na I'm a good OT, they have to stay with me, they want to work with me, kasi I'm a good OT. I'm the best OT, ganyan. So I should be the best OT for this kid. So I should do better. Yun yung nasa mind ko lang the whole time. Now, sabi ng secretary, I have to be firm. I have to be strict. I have to be very stern in dealing with the kid. So sa mind ko, dapat strict ka. Dapat ikaw yung in control. Dapat susunod siya sa'yo. Okay? So, first day pa lang namin ng kid, kaka-meet pa lang namin, hi, I'm Teacher Cesar, ganyan. So serious na agad ako. Okay, so ito yung gagawin natin. So this is what you did with your therapist before, with your own teacher. So teacher ganyan. And this is the list of activities that you did. Okay, this is what I want you to do and you have to follow me. Okay, so because I'm your teacher, I'm your therapist, you have to listen to me. Okay, because yun yung intro ko sa kanya. Because I have to be firm, yung nasa mind ko lang. Now, that kid kept resisting talaga. Like, ayaw niya sumunod, kumukontra siya. The more I tried to push, my authority on the kid, the more I tried to be strict. Like, bakit hindi sumusunod? Why are you not following? See, I'm gonna give you an X. I'm gonna give you an X. Oh no, 3 X's already. Let's stop this one. I don't want to work. Mga ganyan. Okay, so I was getting stressed kasi nga, he's not working the way I wanted him to work. And the approach na sinabi ng secretary sa akin, na dapat strict, hindi din nag-work. So the child that time, very stressed din siya. Kasi, sino ba to? Kakamit ko lang sa'yo and then you're all this, parang kung sino magsalita sa akin, di ba? Sino ka ba para makinig ako sa'yo, di ba? So if you think about it, hindi pa na-establish yung relationship namin. Hindi pa siya nagta-trust sa akin. He doesn't even remember my name, siguro, di ba? Kasi kakamit lang namin. So how would the child follow me? How would the child trust me if hindi ako nagpakita sa kanya na I'm there as the teacher. I'm there to help him. I'm there to, listen to him kung ano yung needs niya that time or even get to know him first man lang. Diba? Kasi ang goal ko agad in that session was just to prove na he should follow me. Okay? So that's, dun sa behavior management by Black Sheep, yun yung time na sinabi ko na minsan naunahan ka ng ego mo when you deal with a child. Okay, now, kapag yun yung iniisip mo, okay, iniisip mo lang talaga, dapat makasunod ko siya. And when you get, worked up na, you get frustrated, it's gonna show on the kid, mas lalala yung situation ninyo. And that's why I really trusted na hindi talaga, kapag sinabi lang you have to be firm, you have to trust your instinct na you have to build trust talaga with the kid. And kapag feel mo na hindi ganun ka-solid yung trust mo with the kid, you have to again, invest time, invest in activities na mapa-feel sa kanya na nakikinig ka sa kanya. Okay? And again, to emphasize, it's not enough na makinig ka sa child. You have to let them know na nakikinig ka sa kanya. Okay? Sige. So, yung ha-ha-ha, that's one of my fears before na baka hindi isipin ng ibang tao na I'm competent enough or parang hindi ko alam yung ginagawa ko, but of course, you have to, again, listen to the child first talaga. Okay, so let's go. Done already with question number 2. And so now we will go to question number 3. Ayan. Okay. So they're describing here the situation ng kid, ano yung development na ng kid, and kung ano yung behaviors ng kid, essentially, and what do we do about it. So we have here, I'll remove the banner first para makita natin. Okay. Okay. Hindi ata matanggal. There, okay. Pinapalo yung sarili pag naiinis o inaagawan ng laruan ng kapatid niya o ulo pero napipigilan at nasasaway pag nakatingin o nakita ko. Then pag hindi, bigla-bigla na lang hampas, minsan pag masaya, then o pag naglalaro. Pag lumabas at nakakita ng bola o sa court, ayaw umuwi, hindi pa nakakapagsalita ng ayos pero alam yung ABCs and numbers at ibang kulay at shape. Hindi nag-point, 3 years old and a half na. Yung isa mahilig mang-agaw ng laruan o pag inagaw yung nilalaro niya, nang aaway o na mamalo pag inagaw ng kapatid niya, nilalaro niya medyo. Nakakapagsalita naman unti, mahilig kumanta, magaling sa ABCs, numbers, shapes, and colors, animals medyo. Okay, so you have 2 kids here. We'll start muna. Actually, they have the same presentation. And I think what's happening is that since they're siblings, ang nangyayari, nagiging model nila yung each other. And kapag walang, of course, pumasok dun sa interaction nila, most likely they're gonna come up with the same skills lang din, the same interaction points as siblings. Okay? So, dito, pinapala yung sarili pag naiinis and tumitigil naman kapag nasaway. This goes towards dalawa, impulse control problem and also yung emotional regulation problem. Okay? So, ang hindi na state here is that the child could have autism spectrum or ADHD or possible ibang diagnosis but may impulse control problem lang talaga. But at the age, ano ba age dito? 3 and a half. Okay, at 3 and a half, hindi pa talaga expected na ganun ka-develop yung impulse control. But yung part na kapag ka sinasaway, nagsa-stop siya, that's a good starting point. Okay? So, that means you really have to set separate sessions kahit as a parent, okay, as the caretaker ng child at home, na you need to, you need to have sessions where you practice waiting time talaga. Okay? So, meron kayo dapat teaching session to practice no, wait, stop, para lang matarget yung skill na yan. Kasi if they already have a certain amount of control, that means na pwede mo siyang ma-prolong on the child. Okay? Now, na-cover natin in our last video yung pag-teach mo pa lang ng language part, no, mga go, wait, stop. So you can watch our old video, but you can introduce that in games. Again, yung mga parang traffic light games. And also yung parang the floor is lava, yung mga langit lupa, ganyan. So, para lang ma-extend mo on the kid, okay, yung impulse control niya, yung waiting skills ng kid. So, that's one thing you have to address kasi you're dealing with 2 things here. That's one, yung isa is the social skill aspect mismo. Okay? Si social skill aspect, you're dealing here kung paano sila mag-interact kapag ka-frustrated or kapag ka hindi nasunod yung gusto nila. And at 3 and a half, dito pa lang lumalabas yung dito pa lang sila umaalis from the parallel play yung kapag narinig niyo yung OT niyo about parallel play, wala pa masyadong interaction and then kanya-kanyang laro but they're playing with the same skill, with the same toy. So, magkatabi, walang interaction, very minimal lang, sharing, pero ayan siya, walang usap, kopya-kopya lang, okay? So, imitate lang ng action. So, for example, kapag Lego, andun siya, andito ako, we're playing Legos, and then, wala tayong usap, basta nagbibuild ako ng tower. So, possible, nagbibuild din siya ng tower, possible na titingin ako sa kanya, kopyahin ko, magbibuild din ako ng tower, okay? So, ganun na stage. And then, hirap pa lang sila with the next one, Okay, kung saan napapasok yung mga sharing, turn taking, yung mga waiting, turn taking yun, waiting for your turn, tolerating na maglaro within a closer, smaller space together, okay? Kasi yun siya medyo mas may distance between each other. Dito, pagpasok mo ng associative type of play, what's going to happen is mas may interaction na. Okay, so meron na kayong greetings, meron na kayong mga, what do you call this, mga, can I have that? Can I borrow? Hindi pa masyado borrow. Mga, ano pa lang, yung pwedeng non-verbal pa lang. Okay? So, hindi pa ganun ka-clear yung sharing ng, hindi pa ganun ka-clear yung magsasalita pa na talaga sila na, okay, this is what you do, this is what I will do, kasi medyo higher level na yan. Ang andito pa lang sa associative stage would be more on, andun yung materials lahat, and then same yung actions nila, okay? And then, pwedeng isang toy lang yung andun, isang toy lang yung sinishare nila, and then ako muna magko-color, and then stop. And then siya naman magko-color and then stop. If we're talking about the Lego example, ang mangyayari, they're gonna build na the same tower and then siya muna maglalagay while I look at him play. And then pag nag-stop na siya, okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna get blocks naman. I'm gonna put on top of the tower. And then I'm gonna stop. It's his turn naman. Okay, so they're dealing with the same actions. They're playing with the same set na. Okay, and also limited na rin yung items here para mas possible na i-control nyo na yung amount ng toys para mas ma-push yung kids din nyo to interact and share. Okay, so isang technique din yan for you to limit lang the amount of toys. Hindi nyo ibibigay lahat. Okay, dito lahat ng toys, and then okay, kayo na bahala maglaro. Okay, that's why better if you kind of, parang kayo yung referee, kayo yung magko-control nung hindi naman control, kayo yung mag-guide, facilitate lang nung play nila. Okay? Sige. Kasi ayan, 3.5. If yung isa, hindi naman naka-indicate if younger or older yung kid, but you have to work din on the skill level mo na of the younger kid. Kapag mas bata to, of course, hindi ka makaka-expect na kung yung 3.5, hindi pa nga maka-wait. Ganon din lalo if the kid, yung kapatid niya younger. Okay? So you have to be the one to control yung play. Go down muna kayo sa level ng younger kid. So kapag younger, usually, ayun, solitary independent, ibig sabihin, kanya-kanyang laro. Doon muna kayo. Okay? And then, pwede nyo i-guide yung younger kid doon sa parallel play. So, nasa likod talaga kayo ng younger kid, pwedeng magkatapat kayo nung mas older na kid, para yung higher level na target niyo for the older kid, kayo muna gagawa in place of the younger kid. But the purpose why you're letting them play together, para masanay sila, that's number one. Also number two, para ma-expose yung older kid mo in interacting with another child. Kasi kapag ikaw lang, merong kids na masanay interacting with just adults, okay, which is a problem din pagdating sa social skills kasi nagbabago yung dynamics kapag mas malaki na tao. Okay, so it's really an important component that you expose your kids to same age. Yung pinaka-important, dapat same age sila. Kasi yun, may factors na nagbabago yung dynamics. Hindi na nasusunod, mas nag-voice out yung kaedad na dapat sa akin to, dapat ako yung maglalaro, ganyan, dapat hindi ako mag-share, okay? Kapag mas adult, mas nagbibigay ka, di ba? Mas nagpapatalo ka, mas nag-giveaway ka sa kid, di ba? Nagbabago siya kapag kaedad nila kasi kung hindi ka mag-share, hindi talaga kita magiging playmate. Ayoko makipaglaro sa'yo, di ba? So, kapag ka-same age sila. So, your child really needs to deal with the challenges kapag ka-same age yung kalaro niya. Kasi this time, hindi na nagpapatalo yung kalaro niya, di ba? So, hindi na tulad sa'yo na nagbibigay or nag-give way for them. They have to adjust talaga and learn the skills to play with same age peers. Hello, Mommy Regina. Welcome to our live tonight. Very active, Regina. Yes, and welcome to our live 3. Yes, nasa question number 3 na tayo. And if you have more questions, please type down in the comment. We have time to talk about questions today bago tayo mag-Holy Week. Okay, because we won't be meeting sa Thursday this week. Okay, sige. So let's go now to tutos. Oh, we have an Instagram question pala from Steph Bartolabak. Hello, Steph. Good evening. And the question is, paano mag-deal ng mga manipulative behavior ng kids? Now, kaka-haircut ko pa lang dito sa Instagram. Medyo mahaba na yung hair ko na magpapa-haircut na rin soon. Okay, how to deal with manipulative, ito. Okay, ayan. Shout out to Steph Bartolaba. Sige, we'll start muna with manipulative. Okay, kapag ka manipulative yung kid, yung situation here, it's different kapag ka parent and also a therapist. Kasi kapag ka therapist, you have to deal with everybody in the team. That includes the parents, the grandparents, the yaya, the kid, the teachers. You have to include everybody. Kasi it goes back into the concept na if you're dealing with behavior, it has to be very consistent. Okay, so that's something that I keep highlighting dun sa behavior management with a child, behavior management by a black sheep, because yung manipulative behaviors, this could possibly be caused by your kid learning na yung mga consequences and the reinforcement ng behavior niya hindi consistent. Okay, kaya siya nakaka-manipulate. It's because alam niya na pagbabaguhin niya yung behavior niya, okay, nagbabago din yung consequence. They can adapt their behavior para ma-adapt din yung response ninyo. And this is very important kapag ka yung kid ninyo nakaka-learn na iba-iba kayo ng response. Iba yung response ni mommy, iba yung response ni daddy, iba yung response ni lola, iba yung response ni auntie. Kapag wala si mommy, mas nagiging makulit. Pag wala si daddy, makulit. Kapag andun sila, very behave. In school, nagbabago, di ba? Kapag ganitong teacher, iba yung behavior niya. Kapag si teacher na ganito, mas strict siya, so I will behave. Okay, so your kid will learn na, iba-iba pala. Pwede pala ako maging makulit. Pwede din ako maging behave. And if may bago siyang ma-learn na person or ma-meet na authority figure like a new therapist, a new relative, a new adult, so ang isipin niya, i-test ko muna, tignan ko muna if susunod to, if bibigay to, or if strict to. Okay, and then i-adapt nila yung behavior nila. And again, yung assumption here is that hindi nagiging consistent yung reinforcement and yung reinforcement sa bata and the consequences. And also the premise na yung kids are smart. They learn these stuff kahit hindi nila na-explain or na-verbalize what they're doing. They really learn from repeated experiences. Okay? So nafi-figure out nila kung paano i-go around yung consequences. Okay? So that's why you have to watch out kapag ka nagsabi ka na, for example, I'm going to ground you for 2 weeks. Okay? I'm going to ground you for 2 weeks. Or hindi ka makakapaglaro for 2 days. Okay? And then, nasabi mo na siya, 2 weeks, 2 days. Whatever you say to the child as a consequence, you really have to keep up with it. So that's why you have to be careful with the punishments that you give, because whatever you say, kung ano yung word, you have to make sure na marunong ka mag-follow through. Because if wala kang follow through with your consequence, yung sarili mo lang yung pinapahirapan mo. Okay? Kapag nag-give in ka sa kid, if you're gonna say 2 days ka walang cellphone, tapos bigla siyang naging mapait, okay lang, sumusunod ka na. Sige na nga, 1 day na lang. Okay? Kasi good ka naman today. Okay? So, of course, the kid will learn, pwede pala, hindi pala siya seryoso with the punishment. Hindi pala siya seryoso. If I act this way lang for some time, mawawala din yung punishment ko or mawawala din yung consequence ng actions ko. Okay? So, that's why you have to be careful with the consequences you give. Kasi pag 2 days, dapat ikaw mag-hold on to it. Okay? Para ma-learn niya na, kapag ka ginawa ko to next time, seryoso pala si mommy, seryoso si daddy with this consequence. Okay? So, hindi ako makakalusot. And that will transfer then to new authority figures. They will know na wherever I am, with whoever I'm dealing with whatever wherever environment I'm in, ito talaga yung mangyayari because naging consistent sila with giving the consequences. Okay, so I'm gonna expect that will be the same in future instances. Okay, so how do you deal with this? Yung manipulation na behavior. You go back to the start, deal with the relationship, deal with the compliance, yung pag-follow ng kahit simple instructions, one step. We covered this one. You can wait for the next behavior management by a black sheep because doon naka-step by step talaga. Starts with relationship, going into shifting yung control towards you, and also establishing your authority na ikaw yung nasusunod in the interaction, na dapat siya makinig. Okay, so that takes time kasi aside from when you're dealing with manipulative behaviors, you're not just teaching your kid to follow. You're teaching them to unlearn yung behaviors na learn na nila before. Okay, so merong unlearning and merong learning. That's why it's a harder, more difficult problem to deal with. Okay, kasi you're gonna balance out your approach here. And of course, if your kid is manipulative, they're gonna figure out ways on how to go to lusot yung new mo na approach. Okay, so you're gonna expect a resistance. You're gonna expect mas grabe na behaviors the first time, the first few weeks na mag-deal ka with this one. That's why you really have to be consistent, firm. Yun, that's why mag-hold ka talaga with the program that you're gonna make. Kasi kapag bibigay ka, it's gonna lead to even more problems pag hindi mo na follow through. Okay? Yes. So that's it from Instagram. And it's time for us to go to our two toys. And for two toys today, we actually have three pairs of two toys. Okay, and they're gonna follow the same concept today. We're gonna talk about visual perceptual skills, one of the important topics we're gonna cover in the Smart Kit, but we're gonna have a glimpse lang today. Okay, what you will get in the seminar. We have here, we're gonna talk about puzzles, and we're gonna differentiate simple and complex puzzles. Okay, so you're very familiar with the jigsaw puzzle, right? So if meron kayong jigsaw puzzle, raise hand. Woo! I know a lot of you have puzzles. It's a classic toy with our kids, and of course, it varies from the number of pieces, the size matters with kids, the fine motor control, the visual perception, the way they interpret yung visual stimuli, what they see into solving, okay, the puzzles. But what I'm gonna show you is the difference between simple and complex, and we have here puzzles from Midir. So one of the good buys I've had. So this is from Toys R Us. Kalimutan ko na. Toys R Us or hindi. Toy Kingdom pala. Toy Kingdom ko ito nabili. So Midir, puzzle game. They have so many Midir toys there. Gusto ko yung brand because they're very sturdy. They're very hard to, from sturdy, mahirap siya sirain ng kid. They last a long time. I played with this with multiple kids. Ang dami mong activities na pwedeng magawa. And you can see here, meron siyang guide with the puzzle. So this is the alligator. And yung pieces niya, if you can see, sobrang laki ng alligator natin. Okay? So this one makes it easier for younger kids because it decreases somehow the challenge of yung fine motor aspect ng kid. Kaya ko siya gusto. And because malalaki siya, wala din yung concern when it comes to pointing out yung small details, which is a problem with very small jigsaw puzzles. Diba na parang ipo-point mo pa na, hindi, meron niyang ganito, meron siyang parang peg, pang out yan, and it has to be here, in. I-shoot mo siya kasi dito yung hole, i-match natin, ganyan. Okay, so the size is really good and parang perfect siya for younger kids or kapag ka nagsa-start pa lang mag-develop ng visual perceptual skills kasi kitang-kita. And the small animal, itong small niya, useful din siya na guide for working with puzzles. Now, here, if you can see, ito yung classic na jigsaw puzzle, right? Yung mga, kaya siya jigsaw, yung ganitong parts, yung parang hole kung saan mag-shoot and also these ends. Now, these are the simple puzzles, and the reason why they're simple is because merong self-correction aspect. Okay, so it self-corrects. It means na kapag ka pinasok ni kid, for example, this one. Okay, so they're gonna put it in. So pagpasok ni, paano ba to? Na ano ko dun sa camera. Ayan, pag pinasok ni kid, okay, let's say for example, alam natin na ito yung correct way of putting the puzzle piece together, right? The puzzle pieces, oh, they're falling down. Okay, so this is the correct way of putting the puzzle pieces together, right? Now, kapag yung kid mo, pinasok na the other way, here, okay, or kapag ka dito sa other side, ginanyan niya, they won't fit in, okay? So that's why it's self-correcting, because it already gives the child a cue na it's wrong. So they have to change the way that they're putting the pieces. Hindi na ikaw yung nagsasabi na, no, that's wrong, no, that's not the right way to put it. Yung puzzle na mismo, that's why it's simple. Yung nagsasabi sa kanya na it's the wrong way, it doesn't fit. Okay, so that's why that's what makes the puzzle simple. Okay, so yung self-correcting aspect niya, yung hindi mag-fit. That's why hirap yung puzzles na ganito na parang, for example, dalawa dito, and then nagmamatch siya anywhere, that makes it uh, more challenging for the kid kasi wala nang cue this time na mali na yung puzzle. Okay? Now, that's what makes it a complex puzzle. Kapag ka yung puzzle pieces, hindi na self-correcting or wala nang borders to guide the kid. Okay? So here, we have this puzzle here, still the same brand. That's why I love it. Ang dami nilang types of puzzles. Ang dami din ng wooden toys, yung Midir. Hindi pala tayo sponsored. Midir, baka naman. Pero, yeah. I'm just really putting out the brands that I love here. Kasi yun nga, ang dami kong kids na nakagamit nito. It's really fun. Wala pa akong kid na umayaw sa toy na to. It's really fun. When you open it, you have here kids na naka-underwear. And you have here a pull-out parang drawer. Ayan. And it's magnetic. So you have the flap here. So it looks like this. So if you see, it's very easy to pack away. Yan yung favorite ko, yung mga madaling i-pack away kasi yung pinaka-hate ko sa therapy yung paglinis after. So it's very easy. Andito yung cards. And so if you look at it, merong cards dito. So for example, you have this guide here. So kapag ka ganyan, your child will look for the puzzle piece here. Dito pa yung lalagyan. Okay? So, kita natin ang ayos. Ayan. So, they have to look for the piece. They have to match it. So, here, found it. Ito yung sa princess. Princess ba to? Basta for a party. Ayan. And then, they're gonna put it here on the girl. So, they have to think where's the appropriate part to put it. So, the top, on the head, here, the bottom. They can use this as a guide. Okay? And then they can look for the other part. So it's really challenging on the visual part kasi meron visual search. So that includes yung visual closure, yun yung i-discuss natin sa SmartKit, yung mga hinahanap ng utis ninyo na skills. Kasi, of course, since covered yung parts, di ba, hindi complete, hindi nila nakikita lahat, so they will need to search around or hindi ko mahanap. Saan ba to? Ayan siya, so hanapin nila everywhere. Ayan. Okay, and then they need to match it. Now, what makes this complex, if you can see, walang guide here, walang cues that tells the child na mali yung ginagawa niya. Okay, what's going to happen? Sabihin card. Wala. Ito pala. Ayan. So what's going to happen is your child has to problem solve. They have to monitor their errors. Sila yung magsasabi, oh, tama ba itong ginawa ko? They have to check. So it teaches them to check their work then. So they have to see here, titignan nila, oh, it's correct. They look the same, right? So they can match it already. So kaya siya complex kasi sila yung nag-check ng errors nila. They have to monitor their work, point out na, uy, mali ako, and then problem solve, ano ba yung next ko na gagawin? So let's say, for example, they put it there, oh no, it looks different. It doesn't look the same. So I have to take it out and then compare it with the picture and then put it here correctly. So ganyan. So mayroong aspect, may processing na ganun na mangyayari with your kid when they deal with this complex puzzle. And again, complex siya kasi ayan, wala ng guide. Okay? So ayan, you can buy this Toy Kingdom or maybe andun is Toys R Us, but Midir yung brand. Very, ang isang gusto ko rin about this specific toy is because it has a lot of cards. You can work on dressing with your kid. Dito papasok yung what do you wear to a party? So you can have this one here, wear your dress, your bag. Andun na rin yung cognitive concept for clothing. How do you name articles of clothing? Yung skirt, yung shoes. You can introduce more sa vocabulary niya. That's a top hat, that's a suit, that's a cane, that's a belt, mga ganyan. You can have cowboy, you can have rolls din. So, ayan. So, mga ganyan siya. A vest, a hat, a cowboy hat, a scarf. So, what do you wear when you go to school? So, ganyan, pwede yung uniform. What do you wear? What does a fireman wear? What does a pirate wear? So, pwede mo ma-extend din towards pretend play with your kid. But again, since focus tayo on vestibular function today, ang important ayan o, di ba, ang dali lang na pack away. Nakita niyo ba? Magic. I was talking and then ginanon ko lang siya, done na pack away. And then I can put it in my bag, go out, and then that's it. Okay. So still working with two toys, Sa second pair natin, we're gonna work with shapes this time. And this belongs to simple na puzzle. And of course, you've seen this a lot of times. You know how simple this is because, again, yung aspect niya na self-correcting. When you shoot your shapes, and siya, when you shoot it, if it doesn't go in, it means it gives the child a signal na, uy, mali yan, find another solution. So, try niya another way, and then tap. Okay? With this toy, then what I love is that you can also teach your kid how to problem solve. So, pwede mo ma-model with your kid. Kasi agad, for example, ganito, ang ginagawa natin, we point it to the kid. So, for example, ayaw mag-fit. So, sabihin mo agad, uy, look at that. That's where you have to put it. Okay, so here, it's the correct hole. So, you can still try to teach your kid how to problem solve. So, tuturuan mo actually sila how to make mistakes and try to solve that, try to learn from that mistake. So, for example, ganyan. Okay, so it doesn't fit. Oh no, that's the wrong hole. Let's try another hole. How about this one? Still wrong. How about another hole? Here. How about we turn it? Can we turn? How about this hole? Okay, turn, and then it shoots. There you go. Okay, so you're able to find it. Pero pinakita mo sa kanya yung process of how to try it again and again kapag nagkamali siya. It's not just teaching your kid na, uy, ito yung tamang hole, shoot. Hindi siya ganyan. Okay, so you have to show them the process on how you solved it, how you yung process mismo of problem solving and then getting their answer. And also, it works na rin with the frustration part na if they get frustrated with doing something again and again, they'll keep trying lang until they find it. Now, the complex part, this is actually an example. Wala kasi ako ng complex aspect. This is still simple, but I want to use this lang kasi simple siya because it's only one peg, right? It's only one peg. And then simple siya kasi, of course, isushoot mo lang, tapos na agad, di ba? But what makes this complex, merong toy na mahaba, like a rectangular board, and then maraming pegs, and then merong circle, rectangle, merong triangle, star, and then isushoot nila, isosort nila bale yung shapes, okay, onto the wooden pegs. So, ang mangyayari, it becomes complex kapag walang guide that corrects the kid. So, for example, pag star lang there, they have to really see kung star ba yung minamatch nila. Kasi kapag maraming pegs, pwede lang nila i-shoot anywhere. Diba? Walang guide or walang nagsasabi sa kanila na it's wrong. That's what makes it complex. Okay? Yes, and we're gonna go now to our third pair of two toys. And before that, we're gonna go to our people watching on YouTube. We have Mommy ML. Hello, Mommy ML. And thank you for being here tonight, for watching with us. And also to Mommy Daba. Hello, Mommy Daba. Oh, you have a vlog. Hello, Mommy Daba. And thank you for spending your night with us and being here in this daily discussion. We are down to our third pair, okay, of two toys. And here, if you can see, this is for the, open ko pa lang, kakabili ko pa lang. Binili ko siya right before the pandemic. Diba? Oo, hindi ko nagamit. Okay, may plastic pa siya. Ayan. Okay. So, these are good toys. You can find them in any therapy center, which tells you na ang dami mong benefits from this, di ba? Now, this is the simple version, okay? And it's a good start for kids. That's why you see this in therapy centers because it's so easy to teach kids how to do this one. Even for kids na wala pang alam about numbers, you have here numbers and shapes, right? Even for kids na wala pang alam with numbers and shapes, you're just teaching them pa. You can use this toy. You're also working na rin with visual perceptual skills and also yun nga, simple siya kasi if you can see merong border yung puzzle, right? So it tells the kid kapag hindi mag-fit na it's the wrong part. Okay, it's the wrong part. So ang mangyayari, you have to really you have to teach your kid how to turn, how to try out different holes kapag wala pa dito. So you can model, lagay mo dito, oh, doesn't fit, let's try something else. Dito, how about we turn it? So same thing, same sequence kanina, but what's good with this one is, again, if you can see, self-correcting na siya. It tells the kid, even without you saying na nagkamali sila. The complex version, ito, hindi ko rin na-open, okay? So, you can see, these are letter magnets. Lazada po ito nabili. Kasi naka-ano pa siya, naka-bubble wrap. But these are letter magnets. And what's going to this is complex because we don't have the board anymore. We don't have the guide for the kid na ito yung pagkakasunod-sunod and ito yung parang sequence on how we deal with letters. Okay, so they need to be able to know their letters, yung cognitive concepts. They have to know how to sequence the letters and they also have to put them in order dito, lining them up without anybody telling them na mali yun or hindi. Okay? So that's what makes it complex. Compared to this one na naka-order na siya, okay, merong guide if tama or mali. This one, siya dapat mag-iisip if tama ba or hindi. Okay? Sige, so this one makes it simple. This one is complex. And that's the end for our two toys part tonight. And dito, meron tayong question from Mommy ML Bands. Question po, how do we deal with mouthing in a 5-year-old kid with ASD na nonverbal? Ang dami pwedeng approach when it comes to mouthing kasi pwede po siyang maging play development, pwede siyang sensory concern, and pwede din siya maging kapag ka na-address yung sensory concern ng kid sa mouthing, pwede po siyang maging part na ng development ng kid. Okay, kasi I know, i-explain ko yan. Yung mouthing part ng kid na 5-year-old with ASD, marami akong kids na very sensitive orally. Yung very picky when it comes to food. Ayaw matouch, ayaw yung massage in the mouth. Kasi merong massage, di ba, na intraoral, yung inside the mouth. Mag-wear ng gloves yung therapist. They're gonna apply a massage para ma-desensitize bali yung kid and ma-tolerate yung sensations. Okay? So, merong kids na kapag na-target nyo yan, ma-desensitize, and kapag nung bata pa siya, like 0 to 2 years old, kung saan usually nangyayari yung mouthing as part of their natural development, and since hindi nila yung nagawa at a younger age, dun lumalabas kapag ka na-address na yung oral sensory skills. Okay, so possible din na si mouthing ni kid, part rin ng cognitive development niya. That means yung learning na mismo of the environment. So pwede siyang mag-mouth ng toys to learn about this new toy. This new sensation. Merong i-learn niya yung hindi lang with feeding, pwede learn siya ng spoon, learn siya ng fork, learn siya ng pencil, learn siya ng book, ito pala yung texture ng paper, ng sand, so ganyan. So, possible yan na part of learning ng kid. Learning ng kid about yung pag-expand ng knowledge niya about the environment and the world. Okay? So, you have to see which one yung ginagawa ng kid mo para ma-address mo appropriately. Behavioral ba? Cognitive? Sensory? Ano pa ba? Pwede din social aspect kapag yung kid, yung nagmamouth in kapag ka as a way of showing anxiety. Kapag hindi siya marunong mag-act in a social situation kasi pwede din na way niya to of regulating him or herself. Okay, so parang stressful siya, so I'm out. So you have to see, again, the importance here is you have to see when lumalabas, where lumalabas, for what reason lumalabas, so that you can use the appropriate approach. Yan siya. Yes. Kasi ang daming reason. It's not just one. Alam ko, masa-search ninyo, most common na reason ibibigay sensory. It's not just that. Ang daming reason for mouthing. Okay? So, ayan siya. Okay. Hello, Mommy Gladys. Thank you for tonight. Hello, Mommy Gladys. Good evening. And question, they have a question. How to handle kids na nagtatouch or nag-explore na on their private part? Like medyo matagal yung paghawak nila or pagkalikot sa private area. Salamat po. Okay, so for this one, same thing with our mouthing kanina. It's one thing that they could, if follow natin yung format kanina, pwedeng cognitive, pwedeng sensory, pwedeng sexual, part ng normal sexual development ng kid, and also social aspect din. Okay, so ang daming parts na kailangan i-target with this one. But this is common in kids. Possible na yung kid, kapag ka ganito nag-present, na matagal yung paghawak or pagkalikot sa private area nila, if you go with the sensory approach, you could start with an increased need with proprioception. That means mataas yung need for pressure, mataas yung need for touch, and yung possible din kasama na dyan yung temperature, vibration. When it comes to yung sensory aspect. Okay? So, pwede na dun naka-target kasi sa private area, if you think about it, yun yung isa sa pinakamaraming nerve endings, right? Yung isa yun sa mga pinaka-sensitive parts of your body. And if you deal with sensitive parts of your body, it means na in this body part, pwede niyang, what do you call this? Mas madali niyang ma-meet yung sensory needs in that aspect kasi mas sensitive. Okay? So, pwedeng ganun if you look at it in a sensory aspect. So, kapag ka ganyan yung problem, you have to give the sensory need yung kid proprioceptive, yung pressure, yung touch, in other means, and pwedeng general na body niya, very useful yun, yung mga pressure, pampakalma, massages, yung slow, yun. We're gonna deal with that one in the Smart Kit, yung different types of sensation for sensory integration. Um, kung kailan siya gagamitin, yung pang-alert ang pampakalma ng kid to match this concern. So that's the sensory aspect. Kapag the cognitive aspect, they could be learning about their body. So possible part pa lang na the same way that they deal with their mouth, they're also dealing with their yung private parts nila. That includes pa rin yung learning nila about their hands, their legs, their face, where they're learning lang the anatomy, yung saan yung part, yung body parts nila essentially. Going to normal sexual development, walang specific time talaga. It's general na everybody in adolescence siya pumapasok with all the changes. But even at a younger age, there are kids or even adults now na who start exploring at a younger age. So important here na nagiging problem na siya if the child keeps doing it persistently. Ibig sabihin, regardless of the social situation, of the context, ginagawa niya talaga. For example, kahit nasa grocery kayo, ginagawa niya, or in the car, or in a public place, kahit saan niya ginagawa. So, you might need more help than an OT. Pwede na natin i-refer yan to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a child, yung child psychologist to deal with ibang. Also, they would also have more ways din of targeting these concerns aside from the social, developmental, and the cognitive development yung approach na ginagamit natin. Okay? So kapag ka-part siya, yun isang aspect na tinitingnan if it's functional or not. Kasi shifting towards the social aspect naman, you have to teach the kid on when to do it. Kasi it's given na, I know it's taboo and also parang difficult topic to discuss, especially in the Philippines, na yung topic even about sex, about, di ba, kahit in movies, very reserved, and also coming from a country na very, majority Catholic, these are topics na medyo very sensitive. But if you look at it in a parang problem-solving approach and also knowing na yung kids natin, again, even without the disability, they're still kids. And dadating sa time talaga na they have to go through this one, they have to learn how to deal with it appropriately. It's not suppressing it, like teaching a kid, no, you can't do that, no, ganyan. Kasi later on, you're gonna have problems then kapag your kid becomes a teenager or when they become adults and they have to deal with romantic relationships na and naka-ingrain sa mind nila, oh, this is wrong, this is bad. So if I do this one, oh no, I'm wrong, I'm bad, ganyan. Diba? So you have to be very clear and very, again, yung kids natin, they're smart, they learn. So you have to be very careful with the situations kung kailan siya mag-a-apply. So you have to teach your kid the appropriate context. So dito papasok yung situational na pagturo ng kid. When is it appropriate? Why do you do it? Why is it not appropriate to do in this situation? Ano yung feeling mo? Ano yung feeling ng ibang tao? Ano yung feeling feeling ng ibang yung tao in that specific situation. And then in another situation, you put them in the home situation. Where is it appropriate? When is it appropriate? What should you do if you feel this way? So mga ganyan, okay? Nagiging problem siya if the child cannot explain yet why. Kasi the most you can do is really focus more on letting them know na appropriate siya here and use muna yung naunang reason. So you can go muna with the sensory cognitive aspect and then lead towards the other approaches then. But similar to the situation kanina, you have to use multiple approaches to really identify the problem. So possible nyo na magamit lahat ng kanina, the sensory, the cognitive part ng learning, possible na normal part ng development, and then ultimately teaching the kid na dito siya appropriate, dito siya not appropriate. If you feel this way, this is how you communicate it to us, your parents, like, mommy, I want to, or mommy, I need to, ganyan. And then, mommy, can I go to yun, bedroom, or ganyan, or bathroom if you're in public, para ma-address ninyo appropriately with the child. So, ayan siya. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. And also, and si Lion, my brother, yes. Hello, Kala, yes. We're greeting Kala, the cat behind me. He's sleeping so comfortably sa chair natin. Yes. Okay, salamat, Mommy Gladys. And salamat for spending your time with me tonight. Ayan. Yes, and we have done already with 3 questions, done also with 2 toys, and we are down to our, ano ba next? 1, 3 to 1 growth. 1 lesson. Naalala ko pa. Buti na lang may 3 to 1 growth tayo na parang way to remember the sequence para hindi tayo hirap. Ayan siya. Okay. So done with 2 toys. Let's go to 1 lesson. And our lesson for tonight is connection over correction. We are actually going to upload a photo about this next time. Tomorrow. Ready na yung post natin sa Instagram and Facebook. But this is another way to put into perspective yung child-led na approach. Connection muna over correction. And what it means is that before you deal with a child's behavior problems, yun, go back pa rin talaga to the relationship and letting the child know na you care para makinig siya. Yung connection aspect is very important. And this is what I say kapag ka sinabi ng ibang tao, di ba magaling ka with kids? Di ba marunong ka mag-ano ng kids? And then there's a kid crying in public and then sabihin nila, stop mo yan paiyakin, di ba? Patigilin mo nga yan. Patigil mo nga yan. Okay, pa-stop na yan. Of course, I cannot just go there and, use magic and then, mag-stop na siya mag-cry. Yay! Okay, I'm Teacher Cesar. Woohoo! Good behavior. Hindi siya ganyan. Kasi again, connection takes time. And that means the only people na pakikinggan ng child na yan are the people na build na niya ng relationship, which are, of course, the parents and yung teachers niya, the therapist na nag-handle sa kanya. And with this one, i-add ko lang na if there's a child crying in public, kahit dun sa mga people, and lalo na dun sa people na yung anak nila walang disability, this I hope we extend more patience and more understanding, especially if kids are dealing with emotions in public because they're already stressed out, the parents are already stressed out, and alam ko very common yan na yung mga tingin, di ba, na feel ko rin yan kahit sa amin in the clinic, di ba, na very controlled yung space, mako-conscious ka pa nga with the parents in the room or the therapist, titingnan ka, tapos your kid is crying, ganyan. Lalo na tayo in public na your kid is there on the ground, nagtatantrum, and everybody's looking at you like wala kang control of the kid. Now you have to focus back talaga on your own program. And again, go back to consistency and your child-led approach. Because if you know what you're doing, and that's why it's important na you have to have this may program ka na nakaset for your kid para pagdating mo dun in public, sure ka of your approach and sure ka of yourself. Okay? Ang mangyayari, you're just focus on the kid, wala kang pakialam whatever you think, basta I know na this child is crying because ito yung gusto niya, ito yung need niya, and if I give in, if I get inconsistent, it will cause more problems later on. Okay, so we're gonna deal with this now. I know what I'm doing, kalma lang kayo. Okay, so I'm dealing with my kid, I know what I'm doing with my kid, I'm listening to my kid, ito yung approach na best sa kanya. We're dealing with parang first few times, lalo na ako before, di ba, alam na alam paano mag-liko-liko sa parents ko. Pero of course, you have to teach your kid na kahit nasa public tayo, same thing. I'm gonna keep my word. Hindi ko talaga ibibigay sa'yo because I said no. Okay, and that's why merong transition period din. Coming from yung personal, that's why sa bahay pa lang, na work on yun na. yung consistency with the kid para mas madali siya i-transfer sa public. And of course, it's a different problem kapag ka lumala yung sa public part. Lalo na pag alam ng kid mo na, uy, kapag maraming tao, nagbabago yung consequences. They will learn that. Okay? So, sa una pa lang, dapat hindi ka na bumigay, dapat maging consistent ka na with your approach with the kid para hindi siya mas lumala. Okay? Okay na meron kang dalawa, tatlong instances na feel mo na pahiya ka in public, but at least later on, you'll have less stress, less problems to deal with kapag ka na-address mo na siya right away. Okay? And yes, of course, to people, to anybody na walang child with disability or walang child, at least be patient because it's stressful enough to deal with the behavior problem. Mas stressful ba if you give those looks, yun yung bus stare, diba? So parang, huwag na lang kayo tumingin. Just like continue what you're doing, pretend you're not listening, unless na lang siguro if may physical harm na ginagawa yung kid or may damage to property, that's when we jump in. Pero if the kid is just there, staying in one spot, crying, okay, and then umiiyak, and then wala namang inaharm na tao or ganyan, tenga mo lang, cover your ears na lang. Yes, okay. Ano din siguro as a therapist, parang mas magaling na ako mag-cancel out ng crying sound ng kid. So parang naturally, hindi ko na siya maybe ganun din for some parents, kapag everyday mo siya narinig, wala na. Kasi working in a clinic na sobrang daming kids na umiyak, na desensitized. Ang hindi ko pa lang siguro na-master yung sa airplane. Kasi pag sa airplane, yung umiyak na bata, pa sa tainga mo talaga, mas mahirap siya i-cancel out. So yes, pero yun lang siya, more patience and understanding. Yes, and a comment from Mommy Gladys, I am the captain of my ship, Peg. Yes po. Yes, you're the captain of your ship. If you know what you're doing, be confident lang talaga. Just hold on to your program. Hold on lang to your approach, and you will reap the benefits later on when you see your child trust you now, when they know na consistent ka talaga and you can manage the behaviors later on. Ayan siya. Di ba yung mom ko dun sa story sa behavior like a black sheep? Tingin na lang parang, ayan siya. Minsan may secret. Gusto mo iiyak ka for chocolates, ganyan, konting, yan, or parang alam mo na nasa bahay, lagot ka sa akin, ganyan. Yun yung mga looks niya sa akin before. Ayan. Thanks, Sir Cesar. And thank you, Ma'am Grace. Yes, and also thank you for the review on our Facebook page. Hindi pa namin na-share, but we've read it. We've read the entire review. Thank you so much, Ma'am Grace. The entire growth team was very happy with your review, and we appreciate it. We appreciate your time and your support and for being part of the growth community. Yes. Okay. And now we are done. That's our last lesson. That's our one lesson. And of course, going to one connection over correction. We already have Mommy Gladys in the program, but we just want to present to you again before we end our seminar, our live seminar. It will start April 22. The Smart Kid is a 6-week program to help your child in learning how to learn. So yung mga napag-usap na explain ko kanina about sensory integration, ano yung vestibular, ano yung seeking, ano yung avoiding, we're gonna cover all of that. Kasi ang goal natin, the main reason why I really started this Smart Kid program, ang main ita-target here is to solve the problem na ang daming terms or ang daming approaches na hindi naiintindihan, which is understandable kasi ang daming parts, di ba, na hindi na-explain in feedback time. Feedback time is just like 10 to 15 minutes. Minsan niya, hindi lang lumalagpas ng 15. Like, max din 20. Okay? And swerte lang kapag kayo therapist natin, walang next kid. Kasi pag next kid, nakakat talaga, start na sila agad with the next kid. So here in this program, you will understand what goes on in your therapist's mind. So ang mangyayari, we get into the mind of the OT para you get to apply, understand the strategy, so you can also get into a deeper understanding of your OT's approaches, yung mga in-explain natin na social, cognitive, all that, ma-understand niyo para mas productive siya when you go back to your therapist. So hindi siya, ibig sabihin kapag ka nag-attend ka dito, it doesn't mean na, hindi ibig sabihin na forever ikakat ko na yung therapist ko, ganyan. It just makes it more worth it kasi kaya siya investment because instead of you, alam mo yun, lalabas ka sa therapy center na hindi ko pa rin alam ano yung gagawin next or what activity do I do next. ito yung sabi ni teacher na goal, what activity should I select, how do I plan out what I'm going to do, ito lang yung nagawa namin, should I just repeat what I'm going, should I just repeat ano yung ginawa nila sa therapy center, what if I don't have this toy, ano yung pwede kong ipalit, di ba? Kasi what we're gonna cover here are the principles, the basics talaga, going back into ano yung mga na-learn ng OT, ano yung nasa mind nila, how did they process, how do we select toys, how do we select activities, para you can already plan out when you go inside, when you go home. And of course, kapag ganito yung nangyayari, you get better follow-up. Okay, ito yung alam kong ano ng concern ng mga OTs, di ba, na hirap yung follow-up at home. But of course, we're gonna expect na better yung follow-up ninyo because you already understand the principle, the why. Okay, bakit to binigay ni teacher na activity? Bakit yung OT ko ito yung pinagawa? Bakit parang play lang? And ulit-ulit, nagawa na namin to last time, ito ulit. Ano yung ibang pwede kong magawa at home? Oh, meron akong ganitong toy na nabili. Ay, meron akong toy. Di ba minsan, alam niyo yung nagsha-shopping ka for toys and then ikaw yung na-in love sa toy. Mas gusto mo pa yung toy kaysa sa anak mo. Pero pero you want to think, ano ba yung benefits na makukuha ko from this toy? Okay? So, ito yung goal ko for my kid. So, I will buy this toy kasi ito yung target ko for my kid and it's a good match. So, yes, I can buy the toy, I can use this, target this for my kid, and I can make adaptations as well. Okay? So, we're gonna see ano yung mga i-discuss okay, in the seminar. Ito yung main goal natin. You're gonna get inside your OT's mind and understand therapy activities. And of course, kaya siya good investment because you're gonna have more, you're gonna take out more from the therapy sessions and you're gonna build more confidence then na ito yung ginagawa ko, kina-activity. Hindi lang siya basta-basta napipili ka ng toy and then basta matapos niya lang. You know your target. Okay? Kasi if you can see one toy, ang dami mong matatarget. If you can see sa puzzle natin kanina, ang daming pwedeng matarget. Are you targeting visual perceptual skills? Are you targeting cognitive concept na clothes? Are you targeting memory and sequencing? Are you targeting yung attention span ng kid mo? How do you go about that with just one toy? Kasi one toy, if you can see, di ba, ang daming benefits. So you have to see ano ba yung pwede mo ma-target. Next one, you're gonna come out planning your own growth time. That's your parang simulated therapy session at home. Despite your very busy schedule, we're gonna follow a minimalist approach para hindi kayo mag-wonder the entire day, ano ba yung ipapagawa ko sa kid ko, okay? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna have just 45 minutes max on each day na ma-plan out nyo na, ma-maximize nyo na yung day ninyo with your kid. So para lang siyang gym time with your kid. And of course, just like the gym, your body needs rest time. Your child also needs rest. So merong part na, merong teaching part, okay, magtuturo ka dun sa kid mo ng skills. And meron ding part na ipapa-rest mo, ipapa-apply mo rin sa kanya yung skills na tinuro mo. So, what's going to happen is you're gonna be less stressed din throughout the day kasi hindi ka na mag-go through na, wala pong activity na paggawa. Ang daming activities na kailangan ko gawin and then hindi ko pa natapos. And then ito. So, pwede mo nang ma-target, pwede mo nang ma-incorporate yung modules mo, yung worksheets mo, or homework with your kid with just 45 minutes a day dun sa growth time para ma-target yung pinaka-important priority goals mo with your kid. And lastly, you're gonna teach your child to learn how to learn. Ibig sabihin, we're gonna work with the foundations of learning. Yung pinaka-underlying nagta-target talaga, aside from the behavior, which we targeted sa behavior management by a black sheep, this is the next step where we learn this entire program. Okay, so we have 6 weeks. So that means you're gonna have access with me. You're gonna have me for 2 to 2.5 hours a week na mas close than this one. We can have, like, if you can see our sharing here sa live, hindi natin nag-go through na yung final talaga na is it cognitive approach, sensory, ganyan. What we're gonna do is you're gonna work more closely with me. Titignan natin ano yung mga ibang aspects ng development ng kid na pwedeng mag-affect dun sa development niya, sa treatment niya rin, okay, when you hold your growth time, para mas may understanding kayo na okay lang na ito lang gawin natin for today. Na-target ko na to, na-target ko na to, na-target ko na to. Tomorrow, ito namang ita-target natin so that you don't end up spending the entire day targeting everything. Okay, so pagod ka na, pagod yung kid mo, walang time for application. Okay, so that's why we want to select ano talaga yung pinaka magpo-point out ng pinaka-problem areas ninyo with your kid. Okay, so week 1 will be April 22. This is the Friday after Holy Week. we're gonna have 2 to 2.5 hours. And if you are busy, if you think Friday is traffic night, you don't have time to attend, don't worry. We already have recordings. Okay, we will give you the recordings, and they will be available to you for up to a year. Okay, and we're still thinking of other ways on how to make you get you to maximize these benefits as well. Kung ano pa yung pwede natin magawa after the 1 year, we're gonna have some follow-up or ano pa yung pwede namin maitulong sa inyo. But we want to make sure na you get to max out the learning para if you have a new therapist or if you have a new goal with your therapist, pwede niyong balikan yung videos. Oh, ito yung sinabi ni Teacher Cesar na parang, ay, palakayin ko muna. And ito yung sinabi niya na vestibular. Sabi ng OT ko, proprioception. Ano nga yun? We're gonna go back to the slide, you're gonna go back to the video so you can understand, you can come up with activities. Okay? And hindi lang to, of course, we start out with the principles, with the underlying foundations and the theory kasi again, we're going to the mind of your occupational therapist. So I want to teach you ano yung tinuturo ko rin sa mga therapists when I help them with getting their license sa review center. Okay? So, papaintindi ko sa inyo yung why, and then we're gonna go to the application. You won't end up lang hearing about vestibular. You're gonna learn how to apply that on your kid. Paano mo siya gagawin at home with the activities and the materials that you have. Ano yung toys na pwede nyo mabili to maximize, okay, yung benefits out of the toys na matarget ninyo as many goals as you can with your kid. Okay, so I'm gonna give you ano yung mga sinasuggest ko with my private clients. I work one-on-one with a lot with parents and families before at home, but now online. And ano yung mga always parang top toys na ni-recommend ko sa kanila kasi possible na it saves on space, pero maraming natatarget na goals, cheap, affordable, pero if mahal man, at least maraming benefits, maraming goals na matatarget with that kid. We're gonna cover all of that one. So that when you go also to the toy store, mas magaling na rin kayo. You have the OT mind when you go to a toy store and you can select it. So week 1, again, we're gonna deal with sensory integration. Try for you to identify yung mga sensory problems and also approaches that you can use. Again, ang daming approaches na masasearch mo online and on the internet, same thing, or nasuggest sa inyo. But of course, especially when you're dealing with children with ASD or ADHD or CP na merong sensory problems or a separate diagnosis of sensory processing disorder, you have to know when to apply them. Kasi possible na yung kid mo sensitive in one sensory area and then hindi sensitive in another. Pwedeng seeking siya, okay? Pwedeng seeking sa vestibular, very sensitive sa touch. And pwedeng seeking sa proprioceptive, pero very sensitive sa taste and very avoiding sa smell. Mga ganyan. Mixed siya. Okay, mix siya depending on the kid. Okay, depending on the presentation. So you have to adapt. Kailan ka ba magagamit ng ganitong approach and sa ganitong approach, how do you balance it out with your kid? And if your kid has sensory problems, how do you prepare them for your growth time, for your class time as well? Okay, so you're gonna come out knowing about sensory integration, gross motor skills, fine motor skills on week 3, routine and habit training, more tips pa on how to schedule, how to arrange yung home ninyo to encourage your child to read more, to play more, to write more. Okay, yung goal ninyo, padamihan pa yung good behaviors nila. We have techniques for that one, and also how to avoid or lessen yung behaviors nila attached to a specific context. So how you can design your home as well para mag-improve pa yung behavior and performance niya. Week 5, we'll go with self-care skills. So we're gonna work my part dyan for feeding, and if kulang pa rin yung time natin, we can schedule another day or a bonus session for you guys. Kasi ang goal talaga dito is that you have to come out getting everything that you can from me. Okay, so lahat ng experience ko, lahat ng knowledge ko, lahat ng books, lahat ng courses, lahat ng mga natin, ng CPD, lahat ng clients ko before, all of that one, you will get that out of me kapag ka nandun na tayo sa program and adapt it into your individualized need sa program. Okay, so individualized need niyo for your child. Okay, and last one would be application. So you will get also to learn skills. Hindi lang siya seminar. We will have a time where you have to do, if you've been to behavior management by a black sheep, hindi lang tayo magsa-stop with just you learning, you have to apply it after. And ito yung mangyayari. Okay, run through lang natin. Okay, week 1, sensory integration. Okay, April 22. The following week, we have gross motor skills, fine motor skills, foundations for pre-writing. If your kid has handwriting, target natin yan. May 13, routine training, self-care, and application until your kid becomes a smart kid. And of course, your kid will not become a smart kid if they don't have a smart parent. So you're gonna come out becoming a smart parent when you attend the Smart Kid program. So skill number 1 is how to schedule your growth time despite your busy schedule. Skill number 2, you will choose activities. Okay, you will get into, again, use your mind like an OT and know, uy, ang activity na to, ito yung napatarget na skills. Okay, and ito yung gagamitin ko muna na activity kasi ito yung priority ng kid ko. Ito yung pinaka-useful sa kanya. So we can break down already. Ano yung ba yung mga foundations for reading, for writing, for academics, for numeracy, for literacy. Okay? So para ma-target ninyo. Kasi if you look at it kanina, if you look at it, if you have one toy, yung puzzle kanina, even playing with the puzzle, ang daming aspects. Imagine handwriting. Okay? Lahat coming from the posture to the grip to the yung sensation sa touch, pati yung pressure, pati yung materials, pati yung planning, everything, lahat ng skills, all of that one affects your child's performance sa academics. So that's why it's called the Smart Kid. We're gonna deal with learning how to learn because we're gonna deal with the very foundations for learning. It's not just you teaching your kid, telling your kid, ito gawin mo, ito gawin mo, ito gawin mo. Okay, we're gonna teach your kid how they can really do these things para mas ready sila kapag pinapagawa mo na. Okay, you're gonna break it down, develop these individual skills, and then build back up into doing the actual function ng kid natin na expected. Okay, and last one, how to develop an activity plan to optimize your child's progress. So you're gonna come out na planning out the 45 minutes that you can do at home. Okay, it will not conflict with your therapist. What's going to happen is you can incorporate their targets, and then also because we're gonna have individualized syempre na instruction, and this one is really just letting you in para mas better yung follow through, better yung understanding ninyo, and you're gonna have more independence than in choosing the activity. And ayan siya. So you're gonna become a smart parent. Okay, you're gonna be the smart parent in this course, so you can help your child be a smart kid. Ayan siya. And the goal here is to have as many smart parents para we can have as many smart kids as we can. With the goal then, of course, kapag ka na-learn nyo na yung OT, of course, you're more confident na rin explaining to the teacher, ito yung ginagamit ng OT namin, ito yung ginagawa namin sa therapy center, ito yung underlying principle. Hirap pa siya with the handwriting, ito yung mga what do you call this, adaptations na pwede natin gawin kasi mas pwede nyo rin ma-communicate with the teacher. Kasi marami times sa school, di ba, sinasabi lang na may problem siya with handwriting, may problem siya with reading, may problem siya with ganito. Like, which part of it is the problem? Attention ba? Motor ba? Sensory ba? Di ba? Kasi ang daming aspects of it. So we're gonna break it down para ma-pinpoint natin yung problem. Okay? So yun yung pinaka-masasolve. You're gonna save a lot of time stressing out. Okay? Hindi na kayo mag-wonder like why it's happening. You have more understanding of it. And this will be our price point. So all of that one, all of those learnings, 6 weeks. Okay, so you're gonna spend with me for just 5,000 na reservation. That's already part of your total course. So that's 6 weeks, 2 to 2.5 hours a week. So that's a lot cheaper than the therapy session that you get. This is, of course, focused learning, okay, on the priority aspects. And because you will be working with me, matatarget natin lalo yung problem niya talaga with your kid. So this part, hindi lang ito yung learning part kasi the group learning, yung courses natin is group learning, but this includes two sessions with me na one-on-one. So what's going to happen is that naka-schedule na to. If you have noticed and if you have inquired sa Facebook page natin, we really haven't answered pa all the questions asking for one-on-one consultations because we are prioritizing all the participants of the Smart Kid program. So what's going to happen is at the start, as the first few weeks of the program, you will schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. I will listen to all your problems, try to also recommend na rin ano yung mga short-term solutions natin with your kid para ma-target natin yung pinaka yung saan tayo makakakuha ng malaking impact on your kids' development. Okay? So, para pag-start pa lang ng program, you get into solving already the problem na you think is getting in the way of your child's learning. Mouthing kanina, we're gonna look at the specific concerns, yung behavior, activity level, if masyadong bata yung kid, wala pang communication, may delay with the communication yung kid or feel mo hindi siya nakakaintindi ng instructions, we're gonna get down to the root cause of the problem para ma-solve din agad. And then after that, we will go to your follow-up. Okay? Hindi ko papayagan na you're gonna come out of the Smart Kid program na wala kayong alam because that's the point of this entire course. Dapat may alam kayo so you will know how to problem solve on your own. Okay? Na para, of course, pwede rin siya investment if you're working 4 times a week, 3 times a week na OT, pwede kayong makasave long term with just maybe -1 session a week para you can already work at home and then you get to work pa rin with your OT consult and then twice a week and then you can continue at home as follow-up, di ba? So para yun siya, mas long-term yung benefits na makuha ninyo. And yun nga, yung follow-up natin, you will get a follow-up call with me, one-on-one pa rin, so I can make sure na hindi ka lang nag-stop mag-learn dun sa seminar. I have to make sure na na-apply mo siya with your kid kasi I want results. Okay, yun yung main goal ko here in the seminar. I don't want you to just sit and listen to me talk. Okay, pwede mo yung magawa with just the live videos. Okay, nagagawa mo na yan. You're gonna be part of the program. You have to have results. Okay, and because we're gonna be targeting, okay, mas focus tayo on targeting your child's goals. Dapat, of course, I have to make sure na you get your money's worth. Okay? Hindi ko kayo, of course, pababayaan. And I have to, yun, yeah, that's my promise. I have to make sure na there's development, not just on your child, but sa'yo mismo. Kasi of course, as your child is developing, we're gonna encounter so many new problems. Magbabago yan. Maging adolescent, new problem. Maging preteen, from nursery pa lang, mag-kinder, mag-grade 1, grade 2, new age, new challenges, new milestones, ang daming different approaches. But if you want to learn the foundations para hindi tayo, new age na siya, new milestone, ano na naman gagawin ko dito? Bagong approach na naman, di ba? So we have to go down to the principles para you get more ready, more confident, whatever age, whatever concern you're dealing with your child. Okay. Yes, that's the price. Very informative. Thank you so much, Daddy J. We have Daddy J in the group. Thank you for joining us tonight. We also have Mommy Michelle Gavino. Thank you so much, Mommy Michelle. And we have Mom Grace. Yeah, grabe ang galing. She said, thank you. Very lucky yung parents to have you. Yes, and I'm also very lucky to have all of you trust me then with your child. It's not easy to trust somebody with your child. That's why very thankful of all the parents who work with me because it's your child. It's like wala nang mas important sa world than your child. And you're giving all your time, all your money, all your effort, all your energy, all your days, di ba? Para lang for your child. And of course, I have to make that worth it for you. I want to make your growth journey a lot easier. So if you entrust me with that one, I'm gonna give the same trust to you as well. I'm gonna make sure to take care of that trust. And again, you know how important a relationship is to me. So I'm gonna take care of it and give you everything you need para lang maging successful kayo to get the results. So here we have 5,000 to reserve a slot. If you're gonna go full payment, that's 13,000, the best price. One-time payment, you're gonna go for the entire 6 weeks. But if you want something more practical, we already opened the installment plan as well. We have 5,000 to reserve a slot. For a total of 15,000, it's going to be on a schedule. Don't worry. Kapag medyo hindi pa kaya yung 13,000, we're finding ways para mas afford natin siya. So down payment will be until April. Ano na bang yan? That should be Tuesday after Holy Week. What was Walang calendar. The down payment for this 5,000 is April 13 is tomorrow na pala. That's next week, April 19. Yes, Tuesday, okay? But again, best price would be 13,000. Pero if you want to go for the installment price, just 5,000 to reserve your slots. And again, we have limited slots because of the one-on-one calls. Um, because of the increase, yung sabi natin, we really can't entertain all the inquiries dun sa one-on-one consults natin. So that's why we're prioritizing all the participants of the Smart Kid program. So just 5,000 to cover your slot. We have until April 19 Tuesday. The second payment will be on May na. So you have enough time to cover for the second payment, 5,000 pesos. And the third payment until May 18. Okay, so it's more affordable. You're gonna have, you know, the entire 6 weeks with me, and then with all the courses, all the calls, it will come with the workbooks as well, and all the recordings in case you get busy. Di natin alam if may lakad kayo, if of course I know how busy you get at work. So naka-adapt talaga siya. This is made taking into consideration the parents, okay, na mindset. I know the challenges you face. I've worked with so many parents already, and that's why we're looking at finding the best, designing the best program. That's why it's spread out across 6 weeks then, okay, to make sure na hindi lang kayo, again, ayoko na makinig lang kayo. You have to apply what you learned from me, go back to your daily life, apply it with your child, and then next week naman, the next lesson, apply it na naman. We're gonna make sure you learn it, apply it, okay? Hindi lang siya makikinig kayo, you have to get results. Yes, that's the goal here. And that's it. Thank you for joining. Oh, wait lang. You have to register pala at bit.ly /growth smart kid. Hide ko muna yung ano natin. Logo there. Hindi ko siya napakita kanina. I prepared this. Wait. Ayan siya. Okay, bit.ly /growth smart kid. Growth, small letters. Smart kid, all caps. Okay. Dapat meron pa tayong ticker kanina, ngayon ko lang palabas. Welcome to our growth live stream. Follow at OT Cesar on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Ngayon ko lang napalabas yung ticker natin. Ano ba yan? Pa-end na tayo. Dun ko lang naalala. And also, we have there at the bottom, dapat kanina pa, get inside your OT's mind on how to teach your kid to learn how to learn. Register at bit.ly /growth smart kid. Again, growth, small caps, small letters. May small caps ba? Small letters, and then smart kid, capital letters. Just 5,000 pesos to reserve your slot. So be part of the Smart Kid program. 6 weeks, 2 live calls, more bonuses, recordings, and I'm gonna see you April 22. Okay, we're also gonna have a live next week then, where I'm gonna meet you again. And that's it. Thank you for joining the dinner discussion. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. We're gonna end our slide. We're gonna end our dinner discussion. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Pa pam pa pam pa pam pa pam pam pa pa pam. We are going. We are going now. Goodbye. Now goodbye. Okay, see ya. Bye. Peace.